Hi everyone, my name is Robert Ris. I'm an international master from the Netherlands, and in this DVD I would like to give you a nice repertoire for black with 1 e4 e5. And basically what I'm going to show you in this DVD is the lines concerning the two knights game. So we get e4 e5, knight f3, knight c6, bishop to c4, and now basically I've tried to make a repertoire against the Italian opening with the move knight f6. And my idea was to deal with the move knight g5 by playing the Traxler gambit, which is a very sharp gambit, and basically it's the cornerstone of my repertoire. But it's kind of risky, and it requires some theoretical knowledge, but if you are well prepared, there are some nice ways to surprise your opponent. That's why I've picked it up in this repertoire, and on purpose I have refrained from covering the move d5, which is perfectly possible too, and in fact theoretically speaking it might be a better choice, but from a practical point of view I think it's an interesting try to surprise your opponents with the move bishop c5, which is basically saying that white's last move knight g5 is not so great actually, by allowing to take on f7. So in the first big part of the DVD I'm covering the consequences of these lines. Later on I am going to cover the consequences of the quiet Italian game with the move d3, and basically it's a very quiet option for white, but on the other hand I think I've managed to find some attractive lines for black to get some more dynamical chances in this line. I've decided to put the bishop on e7. Bishop e5 is possible too, but for a reason I've decided to put the bishop on e7. For example, castle kingside, and basically black has two plans depending on white's setup. In general, after the moves c3 or bishop b3, it has been my intention to break in the center with the active move d5. Very sharp continuation has been played by many strong players, including Kasparov and Galfand. So certainly an interesting option for black. And in case white plays very quietly with moves like rook to e1, preventing that central break, then the idea was to create a setup with black connected with the move d6. Basically it's very difficult to create anything in this kind of quiet positions, but the plan for black in my repertoire DVD is to put the king on h8, play the knight back to g8, and try to generate counterplay against the white king on the king side by playing the move f5. Of course white has different ideas to deal with that setup, but I think in general I offer you some nice ideas which you can include in your own games as well. So basically we have covered the Traxler now, the Italian game, and last but not least there is the move d4, which can in fact also be reached via the Scotch on the third move d4. So I think it's necessary to be aware of this possibility as well. And after e takes d4 I have covered the move knight g5, which shouldn't pose black too many problems after the move knight e5. There's also the more critical move e5, which I would like to respond with the move knight e4, intending to transfer the knight from e4 to c5 to e6 in many lines. I think it's an interesting weapon for black, and basically I refrained from playing the move d5, which is possible too, but there are so many lines, and it's generally white players, from my own experience I can assure you that white players, they are better prepared for the main move. So I think knight e4 is a very interesting way to bring your opponent on the wrong track. And finally, there is the move castling kingside, which is a very normal line, of course. And here, of course, there is the move bishop c5, leading to the sharp Max Lange attack. But basically, I've refrained from that lines in my repertoire. Instead, I've focused on the more principled continuation, knight takes e4, grabbing a second pawn, and I've shown you in this DVD that in general white cannot really count on an advantage after rook e1 and d5 and so on. So basically that's what you can expect from watching this DVD. I'm a 1 e4 e5 player myself, and most of these analyses are based on analysis I have done a couple of years ago actually, and I've tried to update them with some new games, with some new ideas, and I've tried to be objective as possible, and I've also tried to inform you where black might face some troubles in this field. Anyway, thanks for watching this introduction, and I would like to invite you to join me to the next parts of this DVD.